Greetings, Patrick here. I have Cheetah Will View, and welcome to another edition of Dollar Theater. We have been having a lot of fun as of late. We had a good run of horror movies. We even threw in a mystery in there as well, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. But we're sort of ready just to go back a little bit to you never know what's coming up. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to, we have a little stack of movies here we're going to be going through in the upcoming weeks, and they're going to be all over the place. And I've heard a lot of people have starting to comment now that they really enjoy that. They like sort of like knowing not, what are you guys going to be talking about this Monday? I like that too. I don't know where I got the horror thing in my head, but I'm glad I had it because I do enjoy horror very much, and I like talking about it. And we're also doing adventures, action and adventures in Dollar Tree, the Voters Edition. I've been having a lot of fun picking out some great movies for that as well. But for today, we're going to go back to one of my favorite genres, one that I get a lot of fun poked at me, but I'm all right with it because it's great and I love them. And so we're going to be talking about Hallmark movie. And the movie we'll be talking about today is from 2018. It is A Veteran's Christmas. A Veteran's Christmas came out in 2018. It stars Eloise Mumford, Sean Faris, Mary Long. It was written and directed by Mark Jean. And yeah, so let's get into it. So Eloise Mumford plays Grace Garland, who's, the movie opens up, we see her coming off the plane. Grace is she's a captain in the 3rd Marines, and she's being honorably discharged. She served 2 tours in Afghanistan, and she served 8 years active in the Marines. In the first 2 years, she sat behind a desk, and then she didn't like that, so she transferred over to search and rescue, and then on bomb detection as well. And so, yeah, and she was there for 2 tours. She's there for 6 years, and so, she served under combat. She's coming back, but she's not really happy about it because she left her dog, which she named Christmas because that's when she got the dog. She named Christmas, but she's really unhappy that, because the dog's still an active working dog in the military. So she left and the dog's still there in Afghanistan. So she gets out there and she's got some prospects. She's got a job waiting for her in Cincinnati. So she gets discharged and she grabs a brand new car. She gets a car and she's going to take off to go see her brother for Christmas and then go there to Cincinnati in February. Unfortunately, though, the best laid plans are sometimes get ruined, and that's what happens to Grace as she crashes the car. She has to pass a black ice, and she crashes her car, and she bangs herself a little bit, but she really messes up her car pretty bad. Well, she's sitting down on the ground. She's trying to get her bearings, and then a dog comes up to her and starts barking and making sure she's all right. And then she looks up. She sees she's at a house, and in this house is Joe Peterson, played by Sean Faris. And so Grace goes up to the front door. They meet. He sees that she's banged up a little bit, bleeding, so he takes good care of her, and we find out that she has stumbled into the small town of River Crossings, and met a very, very nice man in Joe. He's a county judge, and so he's he's a pretty honorable guy, and they don't hit it off right away. And I got to tell you that the performance by Eloise Mumford as Grace, it's one of the best performances I've ever seen in a Hallmark movie. I could easily take her performance and put it in any war movie, any military movie, and drop it in there, and it would be noted. It would be like, wow. She plays a combat veteran so well here. She looks like she has PTSD. She has a haunted look in her eyes, like she's seen a lot of shit. And and her mannerisms are definitely military. She worked hard for this role, because she looks like she was a Marine. She conducts herself as one, and and she's also socially awkward too, because she's been in Afghanistan for 6 years. It's hard. It's hard getting back, into regular life. In fact, she mentioned something I think is probably a true fact. She said that for every 1 day under combat equals 10 days as a civilian in terms of length. And I thought that was a profound piece of writing by Mark Jean, and it smacks true. I have a feeling if we asked combat veterans, they would sit there and say, yeah, that's about right. So, but Joe is nice. He's going to go ahead. He has a spare bedroom, a cottage, and so he puts up Grace there and then takes her car into his Uncle Roy, small town. It's the only place in town. And unfortunately for Grace, the car is really banged up. I mean, there's a lot of damage to it. In fact, I'm actually sort of surprised she just didn't just call her insurance and just write it off and go back and get another car. But they go ahead and say, I think we can get this done. I'm not sure we can do it, in time for, get you up to your brother on Christmas, but we'll do our best. She said, well, as long as it's done by February, I have a new job, it's no problem. And so Uncle Roy decides to, he takes it on there. And so then Joe takes Grace to meet all the people in the town, his best friends, and his mom and his aunt, and basically it's just a small town. If you watch the Hallmark movie, then you know how small towns are very important in the Christmas movies. And so they all meet, and everybody's having they think Grace is the cat's meow, and she is. And of course there's always a little something there in Hallmark, because there always has to be. Joe was up for a judgeship in Chicago, so he's been waiting on that. And as he's waiting on that, lo and behold, the ex shows up in town for time for Christmas. And they were supposed to get married. Marty and Joe were supposed to get married, but Marty ran away with the county county prosecutor. So obviously that's going to be some. But the thing is that Joe and Marty's dad, hit it off really, really well. I mean, he thinks the world of Joe, and so we find out that Marty's dad is retired military as well. He's a full bird colonel, and so he meets the colonel and Grace does, and then we find out that Marty has come to town and they had the usual meet. But you could definitely tell this is something where you can see where Grace is still trying to find her way, because while everybody could see that Joe was not particularly happy to see Marty, and it's just sort of like the only reason why he is being civil to her on any length is because of her father. And when she comes up there and she gets this half-assed apology for doing what she did, you could just see, for the only time in the movie, you could actually see there was some heat. There was some heat in Joe's eyes, like, if I had my way. But he's civil. He's nice. Because he likes her father a great deal and he respects him. So they go through the various Christmas, deals. There's shopping and there's festivals. I mean, it's a Hallmark card. It's a Hallmark card. And so, and then later on, Grace comes in and helps out the family a little bit. One of the little ones has a hard time doing a play because she's scared, and Grace talks her down with a story about her and, how she overcame a tough situation. And everybody loves Grace. The whole town does. And unfortunately, the other part about it is like, there's always a bump. So Joe gets the news about going to Chicago in January, and then Grace hears him on the phone talking to Marty, saying, that's awesome, thank you. I mean, he's like, this is the best news ever, I love you for this. And it's just like, for someone who's just barely getting back, into, civilian life, coming in on that conversation, she immediately Grace jumps, to conclusions instead of just sitting there and going like, what's that all about? But she gets scared. The town, it's almost like the town is too perfect. And I agree with that. This town is perfect. It's sort of I read that it's a little bit, it reminded someone of Stepford Wives. I wouldn't go that far, and I wouldn't go Westworld wise, but it was more like Barbie wise. Let's put it that way. It was like the perfect town and all the perfect people, and everybody's having cocoa and cider. I mean, they eat half the time in this movie. Anyway, Grace, she thinks that she hears Joe and Marty maybe possibly reconnecting, and so she doesn't want to be there or be hurt by that. So she decides that she's going to take off to Cincinnati. She says she'll just get her, when the local police officer says, well, what about your car? Joe's best friend Cooper says, what about your car? He goes, well, I'll just, they can just send it to me in Cincinnati. And so, still she's going to leave. And then his buddy calls up Joe and says, hey, she's leaving right now. And so, they do a little bit of, probably not really nice to do this, but the local cop pulls over the bus and tells her, please, you got to come with me or else I'm going to get in trouble. So she gets off the bus and she's not happy about that. And Cooper takes her to this big celebration, Christmas Eve celebration they have every year at his barn. And so she walks in and there's half the town's there, and Joe tells her, he says, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to Chicago. I really like this, I like you. I like you more than I like going to Chicago and being a judge there. And I'm not going anywhere. And we really like for you not to go anywhere. And so and we have a little something for you. So she's standing there, and then people part, and then lo and behold, it paid off that Joe had kept civil and kind with Marty's dad, because Marty's dad being a full bird colonel, and he had a lot of connections, and some of the strings he pulled was he was able to get Grace's dog back. So Christmas came on Christmas Eve. One of the most emotional endings of any Hallmark movie. I dare you to watch the ending, the last 10 minutes of this movie, and not lose it. I know I did. Can you imagine if it had been a cat? Yeah, I did. It's a very emotional story, and I really put it on the square of Eloise Mumford. Again, I can't tell you how good a performance she was. This is just like easily one of the top 5 performances I've seen in a Hallmark movie. Probably behind Kristen Booth and the cast of Signed, Sealed, and Delivered. Kristen Booth, Crystal Lowell, Eric Mabus, and Jeff Gustafson. Other than those 4, I thought this has been the most emotional and the most true to life. And I really enjoyed this movie. I did. I got this. I got this one at the Dollar Tree, or not Dollar Tree, but Dollar Family. I got this at Family Video, which is really cool because every Christmas, while the store was still open, they would get 3 or 4 movies in. And I would just sit there and wait till after the Christmas was over, and then I would go ahead and pick these up one by one. And they didn't even give it a second glance. They're just like, yeah, okay. The movie is 84 minutes long. It's rated G. You can get this. You can get this through Hallmark.com, probably through Amazon, eBay, Walmart. It's not that old. It's only 2018. It's a great movie if you're into Hallmark. Even if you're not, if you're a military movie fan, I would definitely recommend this movie. It has a lot of emotional punch to it, and again, for the 3rd time, because third time's the charm. This is a great performance by actress Eloise Mumford, and very well written and directed by Mark Jean. And yeah, this is a keeper for me. All right. Well, that is Dollar Theater for this week. We will be back next week. I already know what the movie is too. I do got that, but you'll have to wait until next week's movie before I tell you about that movie. All right. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting the sub button, hit the notification bell, and then leave a comment down below if you've seen Adventures Christmas or if you're just a dog fan, a dog lover in general. Either way, drop a comment down below. And thanks for watching, and thanks for coming by and supporting the channel. Talk to you soon.